All right, let's get cooking. Welcome to the latest edition of Chin Check Sports Radio. I'm your host, JD. I want to thank you all for taking the time out to join us. And as always, we welcome any suggestions, feedback, comments, and criticism, which improves the quality of our program, which ultimately improves your listening experience. Before we get started, I want to tell all of you thank you for your tremendous support. People are slowly but surely finding out about who we are and what we do. They enjoy and respect the passion with which we speak. But as I always say here at Chin Check Sports Radio, we do this because we love it, as we are simply sharing our passion with you all as we continue to build our listening army to take over the world. You know that we are your go-to on YouTube for Dallas Cowboys coverage throughout the NFL season, as well as any and all Dallas Cowboys coverage. And the Dallas Cowboys no-show job week 16 on the road to NFC East rival the Philadelphia Eagles, losing by a score of 41-7. Folks, you heard that correct. Let's jump into our numbers here, if there was any point to jump into these numbers. Quarterback Cooper Rush, 15 of 28 attempts, 147 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions. The small contingent of Cowboys fans who were convinced that Cooper Rush should be the starter over Dak Prescott, they're awfully quiet right about now, even though we've had our criticisms of Dak, and justifiably so. But that Cooper Rush should be the starter instead of that Prescott talk has died down. But we will say this about Cooper Rush. Has played well in his starts, actually has a winning record in his starts. Just don't play him against the Philadelphia Eagles because he is 0-3 and the numbers have been atrocious and horrendous. Running back Rico Dowdell, 23 carries, 104 yards. Receiver numbers, Brandon Cooks, 4 catches, 52 yards, and Jalen Tolbert, 3 catches, 30 yards, 1 touchdown. On the defensive side, if there was even a point even bringing it up, Malik Hooker, 9 total tackles, 6 solo, 1 tackle for a loss. Eric Kendricks, 9 total tackles, 5 solo, 1 tackle for a loss. Deron Bland, 6 total tackles for a solo. Andrew Booth Jr., 6 total tackles, 3 solo. Jordan Lewis, 5 total tackles, 1 solo. Chauncey Golston, 4 total tackles, 4 solo. Maris Leofau, 4 total tackles, 3 solo. Mozzie Smith, 3 total tackles, 2 solo, 1 tackle for a loss. Linval Joseph, 2 total tackles, 2 solo. Osa Adigazua, 2 total tackles, 2 solo. Micah Parsons, 2 total tackles, 2 solo, 1 tackle for a loss. And Nick Vigil, 2 total tackles, 1 solo. It was the beatdown in Philly, most notably that running back Saquon Barkley eclipsed the 2,000 yards mark and became one of, you could say, a handful, or you could put both hands, of men who ran for 2,000 yards in NFL history. So congratulations to Saquon Barkley. By the way, the same Saquon Barkley that was a free agent, and the Cowboys chose to ignore him as well as Derrick Henry to bring back Ezekiel Elliott. By the way, as we're recording this, we just received word that Ezekiel Elliott has been cut from the Cowboys to go, seek a position or a place with a playoff contender. Then what the hell was the point in bringing the man back anyway? So these are some of the failures of the Dallas Cowboys front office, namely Jerry Jones, and this is him going all in. So it was just a bad look. The Cowboys are beat down, and it is what it is. There's really nothing to really speak about. Again, Mike McCarthy, who might have saved his job against Tampa Bay, that question has now reopened itself. And folks, Micah Parsons. Micah, sometimes it's good to just be quiet. I know, Micah, you have an opinion about things. Sometimes it's good to just shut up. It's just good to just take your loss and be done with it. Now, of course, Micah Parsons, and I'm paraphrasing here, if you take away the score or something to the effect, or take away a few plays, the game was rather competitive. Micah, the score was 41-7. That is a lot of plays here and there that you got blown out. Micah, your running Micah, the defense that you're the leader on, gave up 179 rushing yards. Micah, the defense that you're the leader on, allowed the backup quarterback, the third stringer, to throw touchdowns on y'all. Micah, these are one of the losses. You just say nothing. This is the reason why, even when I don't agree with it, but he's some of the reason why the Cowboys fans like, should we just trade Micah Parsons and move on and just get better draft capital? Because this is the delusions that we're talking about that sounds like Jerry Jones, because Jerry Jones, I could see Jerry saying something like that. Well, take away the score, a few plays here and there. We felt we were right there. We were even. We took the field. There is no Cowboy fan. Well, let me phrase that, because you do have some idiots in Cowboys Nation. We clearly not one of them, who will say that when the Cowboys and the Eagles took the field, clearly all season, the Eagles and the Cowboys were not the same team. Now, yes, we did say you throw out division record and stuff like that. Yes, you definitely play competitive games within the division. But it's clear, the Cowboys without CeeDee Lamb, and special shout out to CeeDee Lamb, who decided to shut it down for the rest of the season. CeeDee, you have nothing to prove. You gave it your best. You were injured really since November. You did the best you could. So shout out to CeeDee Lamb. He fought through it. We have no issues with shutting him down. This is why we stated, guys right now are auditioning for jobs next season. And some people just are not producing. Now, Rico Dowdle, undrafted running back, running for 1,000 yards. All that as well. It's a feel-good story. He ran over 100 yards today. But if that running back from Boise State is still available, the Cowboys need to get him. It's that simple. We just don't have time for this foolishness. Don't come up with a guy from Roast Beef Tech or some guy from Everett Institute and try to convince us that he's the best running back on the board. We're not going to play this game. You're going to get the top-tier talent. And by the way, Dak Prescott is at his best. It is a statistical fact. He's at his best, less turnovers, when he has a guy to hand the ball off to. So we're not going to play this game about trying to draft someone heard of running back. Go get this guy and be done with it. So, and definitely as we close out the year, again, thank you for your tremendous support. And it definitely has always been a lot to us, even with the comments. Now, of course, we didn't get to record a lot that, let me phrase that. We didn't get to record as much as we wanted to because, we had been in travel and transit. Because, of course, when we first started the program, that was 2019. And, of course, when 2020 hit, it was COVID. So, of course, people had a lot of time on their hands. So we were trying to just do our best, to get people's minds off of it, to kind of just share the passions that we have with you all. And the support has totally been tremendous. So, as a quick year for Chin Check Sports Radio in 2024, we began the year with the awful, awful performance of the Dallas Cowboys that has bled into this season in the wild card game where the Cowboys are blown out by the Green Bay Packers. And it's something that, and sorry about that, that was a previous broadcast, and something that the Cowboys are blown out. And we stated the Cowboys had a chance that season to go to the NFC Championship game. If they would have beaten Green Bay, they would have played Detroit. They already had beaten Detroit, and for the most part, they had the Lions number. They could have beaten Detroit. So again, they should have been, they were favored against Green Bay. Got their asses kicked. Had they beaten Green Bay, they probably would have gotten by Detroit and would have been on the road to San Francisco. I'm not saying they would have beaten San Francisco because that team loaded with the Avengers from top to bottom. So we definitely went over that about the Cowboys' just awful performance in that playoff game. So, and then we did a broadcast about how the Cowboys were still talking. Micah Parsons and CeeDee Lamb, about CeeDee Lamb saying that I need to mature. And, of course, we had our criticisms and our critiques of that. Then we did the Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia preview of the fight. And it was an action-packed fight, and we followed up by the review. And, of course, everything happened after the fact where Ryan Garcia, he tested positive for a a banned substance, a PED. So he's been suspended. So that is one of the rematches that we want to see in 2025. We did a broadcast, as you just talked about Ezekiel Elliott being released by the Cowboys. And we did a broadcast on the lunacy of the Dallas Cowboys as to with all the free agent running backs who were clearly better than Ezekiel Elliott, including Saquon Barkley, including Derrick Henry, and the Cowboys decided to bring back Zeke, and we broke all the numbers down. Then we did a fun broadcast with the Floyd Mayweather effect. The Floyd Mayweather effect in boxing of people who now all of a sudden when a guy has a loss on his record, all of a sudden he's not good, and that goes to Floyd Mayweather, his undefeated season, his undefeated career, and not winning, and people paying their money to want to see Floyd lose so they can in fact say that he was overrated. And of course, if Floyd retiring is undefeated, something happened in boxing. Now we expect fighters to go undefeated if they lose. They've been exposed, they're overrated, they suck, and they're just not that good, even though the majority of the all-time great fighters have, in some cases, multiple losses on their record. we got back into our fantasy matchup with the late Diego Chico Corrales against Javante Tank Davis. Folks, that would have been a heavy hitting, action-packed fight. Then we did a Chin Check Sports Radio, one of our favorite years, the year 2001 in boxing. Well, in sports, rather. A lot of people who we wanted to see lose, lost. We broke down the New York Yankees to Lennox Lewis losing, to the Baltimore Ravens beating the Giants, to Bernard Hopkins beating Philip Trinidad, to Prince Nassim Hamed losing to Marco Antonio Barrera. So that was definitely a fun broadcast, and that was a year that we definitely remember that year in sports. We began our top 10 controversial boxing decisions of all time based on the fights that we grew up watching. We are still working that list. We have been recording the episodes. We're going to slowly start to release them next year. Lee, brother, we have forgot about you, so we are still working on that. And then, of course, we picked up our Dallas Cowboys coverage throughout the year. So as 2024 ends, thank you for your tremendous support. We'll definitely continue to have fun and do what we do in 2025. This is definitely Stress Release Force. We have a lot of fun with it. We definitely appreciate all comments and concerns and issues and feedback. But it's what we do. So definitely you all, I hope you have a happy new year. Stay safe and God bless. And it's Chin Check Sports Radio, signing out.